All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we're diving deep into some juicy predictions, specifically about everyone's love life in 2025.
Oh, Juicy's right.
We found this super interesting article on Chinese astrology that breaks down the entire year, sign by sign. And, well, let me tell you, there's some serious drama in store for some people out there.
Yeah, lots of drama, but lots of love, too.
Oh, intrigue.
Absolutely. And just so everyone knows, we're going to be focusing on how Venus and Saturn's movements are going to be impacting each of the zodiac signs' love lives this year.
Okay, so like a cosmic weather forecast for your heart.
Exactly. I love that.
So who are the lucky ones?
Well, let's find out, right? Are you ready to see which signs are destined for smooth sailing in their relationships and which ones might hit a few romantic storms along the way?
Let's start with the lucky ones. I am dying to know. Lay it on me.
All right, so this article ranks Pisces, Scorpio, and Virgo as the top 3 signs for love in 2025.
Ooh.
And each sign has its own unique journey ahead.
So if I'm hearing you right, even though they're all in the top 3, their paths to love and happiness or whatever are going to look totally different.
Exactly. It's not just about being lucky in love. It's also about how that luck unfolds.
This is so interesting. Okay, let's break it down sign by sign. Who do we have first?
Well, we have Virgo in 3rd place. Virgos, you've been dealing with Saturn's influence for a while now, which honestly may have left you feeling kind of, pessimistic about love.
Saturn can be a real downer sometimes. I feel good.
Oh, absolutely. Saturn can be tough. Lots of lessons to be learned. But good news, Virgo.
Yeah.
2025 brings a much-needed breath of fresh air. Like, finally.
Yes. Give them a break.
For real. Okay, so on January 3rd, Venus enters your romance sector. Boom.
Sparks are going to fly.
Right. This could bring all sorts of new connections or even, rekindle some old flames.
Ooh, second chances.
I'm telling you, 2025 is a year of second chances, especially for Virgos. Now, get this. Between March and April, both Venus and Mercury go retrograde in Pisces.
Okay, retrograde. Everyone freaks out when they hear that word, but isn't it different for every sign?
Absolutely. And in this case, it's actually a good thing because Pisces happens to be Virgo's relationship zone.
Interesting.
So this retrograde actually creates a fantastic opportunity for those second chances we were talking about. Virgos, you could see a major boost of joy in your relationships during this time.
It's like the universe is hitting rewind, but in a good way.
Totally. A cosmic do-over. Okay, but hold on. Things get even more interesting. In May, Saturn, the planet of restriction, finally exits your romance sector.
Freedom.
Yes, talk about freedom. This means, Virgos, you can finally shed that, old relationship baggage and approach new connections with a fresh perspective. No more weight holding you
I
down.
love that. Clean slate.
Oh.
But you said it gets more interesting, so there's got to be a twist, right?
Always a twist. Saturn makes a comeback in September. And get this coincides with eclipses in both Virgo and, your relationship zone.
Double whammy.
Pretty much. So September becomes a pivotal time for new relationships. A testing time, you could say.
Okay, so Virgos out there, enjoy those summer flings.
Yeah.
Have your fun, but be prepared for a potential shift in September when Saturn comes back around.
Exactly. Use the summer to build a solid foundation, because September might bring some unexpected tests.
All right, noted. So next up we have Scorpio, our runner-up for love in 2025.
Yes. And for those Scorpios out there who are stuck in those frustrating situationships.
Oh, you mean like it's not a relationship, but it's not a relationship?
Exactly. Or maybe dealing with some unrequited love. 2025 might offer some long-awaited breakthroughs. Finally.
Yes. Breakthroughs, what do they look like?
Well, right from the start of the year, Venus is going to be boosting your romance sector. And honestly, this could lead to a lot of breakthroughs with those long-held crushes.
Ooh, finally shooting your shot.
Maybe. Or it could even spark some unexpected encounters with new love interests. The possibilities are really exciting.
This all sounds so promising. What about that Venus and Mercury retrograde period?
Right, good point. For Scorpios, this retrograde period could bring exes back into the picture.
The plot thickens.
Or it could intensify those, complicated situations that you might already be dealing with. Think a lot of those, should I text them back, dilemmas.
I can already see the drama unfolding. But hey, maybe some good can come out of it, right?
Absolutely. And amidst all that potential chaos, don't worry, Saturn's departure in May brings a really welcome sense of liberation for Scorpio.
Okay, that's good news. At least there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
It really is. You're finally free from that frustrating limbo,
Yeah.
the one where you're just kind of stuck. And you're ready to embrace new possibilities?
New year, new you.
Right. And here's the best part. Uranus, the planet known for shaking things up. It leaves your relationship sector in July. This promises at least 6 months of smoother sailing.
Phew, a much-needed break.
Yeah.
It sounds like things are definitely looking up for Scorpios after a potentially dramatic start to the year.
Yep.
But wait a minute. You mentioned that Saturn returns in September, and then Uranus retrogrades back into Scorpio's relationship zone in November. Does that mean trouble?
Well, let's just say it's a gentle reminder from the cosmos that relationships take work and require adjustments, even during the good times. No one's off the hook.
So true. All right, last but certainly not least, let's talk about the luckiest sign of them all in 2025. Pisces.
You're taking home the gold medal in love this year.
Pisces, you're starting 2025 with Venus in your sign.
Oh.
And that sets the stage for some seriously unique and potentially favored connections. Think destined to be together energy.
So, right from January, Pisces will be sparking connections. Like, what kind of connections are we talking about?
Think connections rooted in shared experiences, maybe some long-standing acquaintances.
Ooh, so like friends turning into lovers, or realizing that special someone was right there all along.
Exactly. And then, during that March-April retrograde period, things get even more interesting.
More interesting. Lay it on me. What's going to happen? Pisces might find themselves swept up in some passionate affairs, you know?
Okay, passionate affairs. I'm listening.
And these affairs could involve significant age gaps.
Ooh, spicy. What else?
Or even a shift in sexual orientation.
Wow, this Venus and Mercury retrograde period is like a major catalyst for change and unexpected turns in love.
For real.
So, besides those passionate affairs, what does the rest of the year hold for Pisces?
Well, June brings some clarity and potential for commitment as Jupiter, the planet of expansion and good fortune. It enters your romance sector. Then in September, those eclipses we mentioned, they fall on your relationship axis,
Uh-oh.
which makes it a pivotal time for making or breaking relationships. It's a big deal.
Decisions.
We might see some whirlwind marriages, but also some really decisive breakups.
Okay, so it's a real roller coaster ride for Pisces this year.
It is.
But even if a relationship ends, at least Pisces can take comfort in knowing that Jupiter's influence is there to, help them rebound quickly.
Exactly. And potentially find new love before the year is over. It's like having a cosmic safety net.
That's a good way to look at it. So before we move on to the signs that, are facing a bit more turbulence in 2025, let's pause for a moment and check in with you, dear listener. What's resonating with you so far?
Yeah, we want to know, have any of these predictions sparked a memory? Or maybe reminded you of someone in your life?
Spill the tea. We want to hear all about it. But don't worry, we'll be back soon to delve into the signs that are navigating those potentially choppy waters in 2025.
Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit and talk about those signs that might face a little bit more turbulence in love during 2025.
Ooh, turbulence. I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah, no one does. But remember, forewarned is forearmed, right? So understanding these potential challenges can really help you navigate the year with, a little more awareness, a little more resilience.
Yeah, I mean, you got to play the hand you're dealt, right?
Yeah.
But it's definitely helpful to know what cards you're holding. So who are we starting with? Give me the dirt.
All right, well, the article ranks Aries third on the list of signs with potentially rocky love roads. And things get interesting right from the get-go. Venus enters Aries on February 4th, followed by Mercury going retrograde in Aries between March and April.
Whoa, hold on. Back up a second. So we have Venus, which is all about love and beauty and all that jazz, entering Aries. And then right after that, Mercury, the planet of communication, goes retrograde in the same sign.
Exactly. And, Mercury retrograde always gets a bad rap. But this particular combination, it's a recipe for some intense infatuations.
Intense in a good way or a bad way?
Well, that depends. For Aries, this could mean falling for someone totally unconventional. Maybe even someone from your past, a blast from the past. Think, high school sweethearts or that one that got away.
Ooh, the nostalgia. So are we talking about like rekindled flames?
Yeah.
Second chances?
Absolutely. But there's also Neptune in the mix, adding its dreamy, illusory influence. And that can make things pretty confusing. Like, is this real or am I just imagining things?
Oh, so like rose-colored glasses.
Exactly. So yeah, proceed with caution, Aries.
Duly noted. So what happens after all that intense, possibly delusional romantic energy?
Reality check time. Saturn enters Aries on May 25th, and this could bring some emotional turmoil, ghosting, maybe even some self-doubt like, am I good enough? you
That's
know?
Saturn's tough love.
Right. But Saturn's lessons are rarely easy, but they always lead to growth and
Yeah.
lasting growth. By the time Saturn leaves Aries in September, you'll have learned a lot about yourself, what you truly need in a partner, all that. So, maybe it's a good thing in the end.
It's all about the long game.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have Sagittarius, ranked second on this list.
Yeah.
And Sagittarius, actually you've got Jupiter, the planet of luck and expansion, in your romance sector right now.
You do, which means that marriage prospects are highly likely, even soulmate encounters.
Soulmate encounters, oh my. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of engagements and wedding bells in the future for Sagittarius.
And with Venus joining the party in your romance sector from February to June, this energy is amplified big time. It's like love is everywhere.
This sounds amazing. So what are we talking here? Whirlwind romances, surprise reunions, maybe even a few surprise pregnancies or shotgun weddings.
All of those are definitely possibilities, especially given, the adventurous and spontaneous nature of Sagittarius. But there is a but here.
There's always a but, isn't there?
Saturn enters your romance sector in May, right alongside Venus.
Wait, so Venus, all about love and pleasure, and Saturn, all about restriction and responsibility, are entering Sagittarius's romance sector at the same time. That's like a recipe for disaster, isn't it?
Well, it's definitely a cosmic tug of war. So
Mhm.
while love might be abundant, it could come with a price. You might feel torn between new love and past connections, especially during that March-April retrograde period.
Oh yeah, decisions. Decisions. It sounds like Sagittarius needs to figure out what's truly important, and what they're willing to compromise on, what they're not willing to compromise on.
Exactly. You'll be learning a lot about balance this year and about boundaries in love. Now, let's turn our attention to Libra, the sign facing the most potential turbulence in 2025. Buckle up, Libra.
Poor Libra. The sign of harmony and balance.
Right.
They're in for a wild ride, it sounds like. So where does all this turbulence come from? What's going on?
Well, it all starts off pretty intense, actually. Venus enters Libra's relationship sector on February 4th.
Okay. So love at first sight.
Potentially. We could see some swift commitments
Yeah.
or some passionate reunions with exes. It's going to be a whirlwind.
I'm already exhausted.
But here's the thing. That March-April retrograde period we've been talking about, it's amplified by an eclipse in Libra's relationship sector.
Oh no. An eclipse. That can't be good.
It means that this initial intensity, all that whirlwind energy, could be deceiving.
Classic case of looks can be deceiving. What should Libra be looking out for? Give them some advice.
Don't rush into anything too quickly. The honeymoon phase could be, masking some underlying issues that might surface later on when the dust settles.
Okay, so pumps the brakes. Anything else? Any other cosmic curveballs heading their way?
Well, to make things even more complicated, Saturn and Neptune enter Libra's relationship sector in March and May, respectively.
Oh man, Saturn and Neptune together. That's a heavy combination.
It is. Saturn's influence could expose some flaws in your partner, or it could lead to feelings of, entrapment, like I'm stuck in this relationship. And then Neptune might cloud your judgment, make you, idealize your partner, overlook red flags, all of that.
So Libra might find themselves in relationships that aren't really good for them. And it might be really difficult to get out. That's a scary thought.
Unfortunately, yeah. This is a year that calls for a lot of careful thinking and discernment, and a willingness to face some uncomfortable truths about your relationships, about yourself even.
Okay, so 2025 is going to be rough for some Libras out there. But there has to be some hope, right? You mentioned that Saturn temporarily exits Libra's relationship sector at some point.
I did. Between September and November, Saturn's absence offers a much-needed break, a window for reflection, maybe even some course correction. This is your chance to assess your situation, decide whether you want to stay or go.
A cosmic timeout. I like it. It sounds like a really crucial time for making some tough choices.
It is. But Libra, you're strong. You can handle this. 2025 might feel like a trial by fire, but you'll come out of it so much stronger, with a better sense of who you are and what you deserve, boundaries and all that.
Man, we covered a lot today.
We did.
From fated encounters to cosmic reality check.
Yeah.
Seems like 2025 is going to be a wild ride for all of us in the love department, no matter what your sign is.
What's so fascinating to me is that regardless of your sign, 2025 is offering some pretty incredible opportunities for growth,
Yeah.
and self-discovery within relationships. Whether you're blissfully in love or navigating those choppy waters we were just talking about, there are some valuable lessons to be learned.
It really is all about embracing the journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
And using these, astrological insights as a guide, not a rule book.
Exactly. Like these predictions give us, potential themes and challenges, but
Yeah.
you ultimately have the power to write your own love story. It's all you.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into, these Chinese astrology predictions, we're going to leave you with a thought-provoking question. How can understanding these potential influences, no matter what your sign is, help you navigate your own relationships in the coming year? Think about it.
Yeah, maybe this knowledge will give you the courage to approach certain situations with more awareness or help you communicate better with your partner. Maybe even, set some healthier boundaries.
Ooh, boundaries are important.
So important.
So have you noticed any of these patterns in your own life or like with your friends? If they're different signs, we'd love to hear all about it.
Share your stories, your experiences, even your skepticism. Tell us what you think about all this stuff.
Yeah. And remember, astrology is not about, predicting the future with absolute certainty.
No way. It's more about using this ancient wisdom to, spark introspection, inspire a more conscious approach to life, and, of course, love.
So until next time, may your love life be filled with joy, growth, and maybe just a touch of cosmic magic. We'll see you next time.